It may be that Julia Jones-Pugliese was destined to be a fencer. If not, destiny has really taken a beating, because since taking up the sport in 1927, she's become one of the leading American women fencers and coaches. Jones-Pugliese, and it just sounds so horrible to say it that way, Julia began fencing while an undergraduate at New York University's Washington Square College, and within just 2 years had risen to the rank of national champion. She won the championship of the National Intercollegiate Women's Fencing Association in 1929, and 2 years after that, in 1931, she became NYU's women's fencing coach. That same year, she also won the National Junior Championship. Since 1956, Julia Jones-Pugliese has been the head fencing coach at Manhattan's Hunter College. She is still there, folks, and she gave me permission to tell you that she will be 85 on May 9th. She is not only the coach of the women's team, she's also the coach of the men's team, and her men's team are the defending foil champions in the Middle Atlantic Conference, and they're also the individual champions. That's coming off last year, and she says they have a good chance to defend this year. She is now an assistant professor in the Department of Health and Physical Education. She served on the staff of the U.S. Olympic Training Camp in 1964, 65, and 67, preparing American fencers. In 1970, she achieved another of her many firsts, being the first woman to represent the USA fencing as a coach at an international tournament in Tokyo. She has since traveled to Poznan, Poland in 1976, coached the men's and women's U.S. team at the Maccabiah Games in Israel in 1977 and again in 1981. And in 1987, she started the fencing program at the Hunter Campus School for high school students. She has twice been chosen National Coach of the Year, in 1970 and 1992. 1992. It's an honor to present Julia Jones-Pugliese. I told her to carry it herself. She's still working.
Oh, Gould, you're priceless.
Okay. Please say a few words.
Thanks, Don.
Our speaker just said to me under his breath, just say a few words. Well, when can a woman just say a few words? Anyway, Mr. Shannon, the Board of Trustees, members of the board, and honorees, their guests, and the media, wish to thank you. About a dozen years ago, I said I was very happy to be here tonight, and everybody laughed. And I turned to the individual next to me, and I said, "What happened?" And they whispered, "You just said you were happy to be anywheres tonight." Well, I was only thinking that. I didn't know I had said it out loud. Well, here goes again. I'm happy to be here and to be most anywheres tonight. I like living and working with the young people. We also have a program a grassroots program for children from 6 to 18. And I've been director of the Metropolitan Division of the United States Fencing Association, and that is my volunteer job. And when I retire, I hope to have a few years left to work with the youngsters. I also noticed that this organization was founded in 1989. I wonder what took you so long. And every little hamlet and town all over the United States has a special Hall of Fame. And it's about time New York, one of the greatest towns in the world, has established one. I wish you many more years to come. The evening, is, in Eliza Doolittle's words, is one of really loverly. Many people, first thing they ask me, how come you fenced? What started you? Well, I tried out at NYU for the basketball team, and I was told I was too short. And then, lo and behold, there was a little citation of a gentleman, a master in fencing, who was arriving from the court of Spain. He was the coach for King Alfonso. and it just sounded too true to be believed. And in the words of the CNBC, the young lady who quotes at evening, if something is too hard to believe, believe it. And so I turned up and have been there ever since. About 2 months ago, Hunter College had their own Hall of Fame, and one of my students was inducted, and it recalled one of the greatest events of winning. I do love to win. And that team, the entire team was present at the time, and the recollections were brought back of the time when we fenced in 1970 against 19 other colleges, at which time NYU had 2 Olympians on their team, and they were supposed to win. And for 2 days, every other coach and team watched that team. And lo and behold, the last day, one of the coaches awoke and he said, NYU isn't winning. Hunter College is winning. And so we came through with final colors, winning the championship. I've always said that I never changed my colors. Both colors of NYU and Hunter are the same. I'm happy with having been at Hunter as a competitor, as first coach for the women's fencing team, of course, and having met many, many wonderful people. And it's true tonight, a whole new discipline. And again, to be redundant, I wish this organization many more successful years. Thank you again. Good night.